Here we go, my people. These are the current sunspots that are facing Earth. These are the current sunspots that are facing Earth. Look for some M flares, definitely, possibly X flare too. These are the sunspots that are facing Earth. Look at the top, right here at the bottom, these couple sunspots right here, and then this right here. These are all turning towards Earth. And I told you these sunspots are going to get bigger and they're going to come to the equator, the middle of the sun, and they're going to spill out more charged particles. Pause. Here's the Gold's X-ray flux, my people. Now, as you can see, this line right here, where the red, excuse me, my apologies. You see where the red is going in reverse right there? That is a satellite picking up energy from the backside of the planet. There's no other way to explain that, because this has been happening on this instrument new. Though this satellite is picking up energy on the backside of the planet. Just like you see right here back on between April 2nd and going into April 3rd, you see the M flare, and then you see almost a strong C flare that was almost an M flare. And then you see right here in the middle with a red, that this little red between April 3rd and April 4th, right here where the red at. I'm sorry I don't have my pointer, my people. I broke my pointer on my phone. It dropped. However, this is picking up energy coming on the backside of the planet. So something is very strong and it's making itself felt. And the instruments that monitor the radiation is now picking this up again. As I stated, this was happening before and now is happening again. Pause. Abundance, my people. Here we go. I'm doing this video at 6:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Philly on the East Coast. Early sunrise. This is the magnetopause, the last 24 hours, right? Now, let's see. Let me just make sure. Let me look at this date. Okay, here we go. The 4th, April 4th, 2025 on this Gregorian calendar. And this is the last 24 hours on the magnetosphere. The magnetopause, this monitors the dome or the shield that supposedly protects us from harmful solar radiation. And that shield is that spaghetti strap, that white strap that you see moving around and shrinking and closing and being squeezed down. That is the magnetopause. And every time you see that magnetopause, look how it's shrunk all the way down. Every time you see it shrinks all the way down like that, especially wobbling like that, it is getting overwhelmed with solar radiation. It is getting hit with heavy charged particles, which is peeling back the ozone layer. Now, Earth is in the middle. The white side is the daytime side. So the sun would be over here. That's goals 16, goals 18. Those are satellites when you see that. But the sun would be right here. Just imagine the sun is right here. And then you see this energy that is pressing against the dome. This is the cosmic particles, ultraviolet light, gamma radiation, whatever you want to call it, that is coming from the sun, pressing on the dome and breaking the dome down. So right? You can look at the back side of the planet. Now, the dark side is the nighttime side. So over here, look at all of this energy on the back side, nighttime side of the planet. Look at all this energy, not to mention the square that Earth is in. Look at those points right here. Look at the points. Earth is in a square. Earth, you can see the point there at the top on the left-hand side. Earth is in a square. Basically, Earth is being hit with high levels of solar radiation at night and as well as during the day. It is a constant bombardment of solar radiation on the planet. And we all should be sucking this up because we synthesize sunlight. We convert sunlight into chemical energy. It be converted into knowledge, information. So now I want you to look at this right here. Look at this as we just look at the magneto's pulse, look at it wobbling, look at all the energy entering inside of the planet, and look at the colors. I want you to look at these colors, my people. Just look at that. And you wonder why these storms and everything is going to increase exponentially. Exponentially. So now we're looking at I just want you to look at that purple. And as you're looking at that purple, I want you to understand where that radiation level is at. That is right above your head, my people. And it's right above your head, but I also want to say this is ground level. We are swimming in purple radiation and that ultraviolet light wavelength. And that wavelength, we are swimming in that wavelength now. And that wavelength is a game changer. So you have several layers to your atmosphere. And you have your troposphere, your stratosphere, your mesosphere, your thermosphere, and your exosphere. Your exosphere is out what you would consider beyond the dome. That's why I say exosphere, beyond the dome. And right before beyond the dome, the exosphere is your thermosphere. And what is thermos? What do you have? Thermos, temperature, radiation. It's extremely hot. I just have a lot of questions. It go from outside the dome completely extremely hot, and right as you get to the dome it's extremely hot. And you mean to tell me now all of a sudden when it starts to get down to the mesosphere or the stratosphere it starts to get cold, it starts to get icy? Nah, I don't believe that bull crap. That's all made up, my people. So don't believe that shit. It's only cold down here on the ground, and the only reason why we feel cold is because we are dense. Other than that, we shouldn't be feeling none of that bull crap. We live in an electric universe. We live in a universe that produces heat at an alarming rate. Why the hell would we be freezing? Come on, stop it. So here we go right here, my people. This cold comes from all the negative energy that's happening with children. This is what you don't understand. So look at all this energy. Look at all of this energy. This is why airplanes are flying low. This is why the navigation is now off and planes was crashing into each other. This right here. And that's why they still falling from the sky because of all of this radiation right here. You are flying and swimming. You're taking something unnatural, flying it in the air through natural environment, natural changes now. And that's interacting. Everything is made up of atoms. The airplane is made up of atoms. What do you think is happening with the radiation, the frequency, the light that's coming in that's bonding with those atoms? That's why you have an engine failure. Your navigation is messing up. That's why the planes are fucking catching on fire. Because it's atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. And it becomes dense. And if we don't understand that, that's why it's easily be manipulated about some God in the sky and some devil in the ground versus you. Everything has to do with you as an individual and us collectively as a species. So let's go over here real fast. I should have did this ahead of time. Last 24 hours on solar wind. Let's look what this looked like. Last 24 hours on solar wind. Again, this is solar speed. It went all the way up to 800 kilometers per second. I seen that number jump up to 8. So at least it went up. Let me see. And this went up to 8. I did see an 8 there. Yep, 878 kilometers per second. So the maximum solar speed over the last 24 hours was 78 kilometers per second equals how many miles per hour. So we're looking at these arrows represent the solar wind. So the sun would be over here, sending this energy out. Earth is in the middle. Some of this energy should hit Earth and then travel out into the solar system. However, again, look at the arrows reversing back into the planet. Look at the arrow. I don't know why people don't realize how much of a game changer this shit is. This is This is beyond any religious text. This is beyond any fucking story somebody can tell you about two entities or extraterrestrials fighting in other realms and battles spilling over into Earth. This here is a game changer. This here is a game changer. This is cosmic surgery at its finest. And we're not paying attention to this because we think this is nothing. This is everything. The sun is everything. Without the sun and its energy that it outputs, nothing would exist on this planet other than us, because we're miniature suns and stars. But other than that, nothing. So how could any conversation be bigger than the children, than our children, and the very sun in the fucking sky? Children, the sun, and our genetics. Genetics, children, and our sun. How could anything be bigger than that? How could anything be bigger than that? Look at these arrows. I mean, they are woo, and they look how the longer they are, the more dense the particles. Look at when it turn around. Look how the arrows. Look how long they stretch. You know how dense those particles is that are coming in here. Wow. Yeah, take a look how your upper atmosphere is coming up red on this instrument, but you got a blue and black sky. Cut it out. Cut it out. Listen, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, my brothers and sisters, but this is coming to an end. Pause. Let me say this to you, my people. I know this picture is far-fetched in some of our minds, especially those that believe in God, the Most High, Yahshua, anybody believe in some super creator outside of itself. I know this picture is hard to fathom. This is creator and creation. And the creation is going to introduce their creator. Just so that you know. But it has to get totally chaotic on this planet first. And how do you know that there is that this is Elon Musk? This is not Elon Musk, but this is Elon Musk. You don't get it? I want y'all to know this is why he's in the news. Elon Musk always have to wear shades when he comes out in the light. You know the real entities that's on this planet by how their eyes react to sunlight. Now, I want you to understand there are also other there are also complex cell organisms that the sun bothers their eyes extremely. It bothers their eyes as well. However, when you look at these people in certain roles and how, especially the ones that be having impact, and Elon Musk has a lot of impact. I told you who he is. Elon is not who you think he is. So he has to wear glasses all the time when he gets to the sun. When they get out in that bright sun, the same thing with these royal families. You better understand that's why they like to sit in the shade a lot. They like to act like they sit somewhat in the sun, but they don't. You better just pay attention to it. Whether you want to face value and whether you want to face the truth or not. But it's getting harder for them to lie about their appearance and who they are. So they have to create something crazy. And whether you realize this is happening or not, that's on you. Pause. And the reason why you don't realize this is happening or you can't believe it's happening is because you're not looking at genetics, and you don't have the basic understanding of biology, chemistry, neurology, physics. You don't have the basic understanding. And if you just look at any biologist or talk to any biologist, this here is completely unnatural. It's no explanation how you can get this these DNA from these species to make one living organism. That is dangerous. Just so that you know, that is dangerous. That is not natural. And because that is not natural, this species is breaking down. Their time is up. They were created with an expiration date. They were created in a part of the solar system that allowed particles to become dense so you can put shit together. That's it. I know it's sad to hear that, but it's the truth. Abundance.